there are women who I would meet at a club. We would have fun, and then the after party would be at some dealer's house, and that dealer or the fixer would be having cocaine on a table, and then we will just dip ourselves in until the next morning.
That happens.
Yeah.
And for any little nigga watching this who wants to get into this music thing, it's never, hey, I know that drugs, come on. It's usually a girl, and she's probably naked.
Yeah.
It's like, that's your line, that's my line. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So you want her, right? Are you not going to take that line, dude?
Hey, serious decision. Serious decisions.
At 3:40 in the morning, or whatever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And then that's how niggas get hooked.
Okay.
And then later on, they only realize it when they start looking for it themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's a habit. But then it depends on who you hang with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I met people that influenced me into using marijuana at first, cigarettes, Black Label and Castle, that is alcohol. But I ended up using a drug called ecstasy. From 1994 up to the time when I finished my schooling, up to the year 2014. That is a period of 20 years using alcohol and ecstasy because it became the drug of choice.
That was the beginning of it, and after that it was going to parties and after parties where you would find guys that have cutting a corner there, going to have right there and coming back to the space. Maybe you are at a club and the guys that you are with and the girls, you go to the side, you pop a pill or you hit a line.
There is a high prevalence of drug trafficking. There is a high prevalence of drug use in the country. And when you look at the year that I'm talking about, 1994, the most common name or the most common drug by then, or the name that I usually heard being of drugs, was men drugs. But I had never seen men drugs. But I saw ecstasy. It was introduced to me to a guy who usually met me at the drinking hotspot in Old Naledi.
I was hooked in such a way that I was a regular user. Now it was 2008 and I had started using in 2001. So I was 8 years into smoking, drinking and weed, plus other drugs that I was doing as and when the opportunity availed itself.
Drugs and alcohol and all these cigarettes and all these foreign things, they're too spiritual. You understand? They're too spiritual because you first die in the spirit.
Yeah.
You would be a working man but dead in the spirit. Your thinking capacity is limited. Your hygiene is limited. Your eating habits are limited. Your sleeping habits are limited. Everything about you is all in limitations. No matter how educated you are, you just can't think outside the box because you are contained within that box.
But I'm proud of people like Bo Atiana being able to put that out because that thing is there, dog.
That thing is there.
Not only ketamine, I mean, I'm talking about lines.
Yeah.
We just saw that lady in Bangladesh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For heroin. You know where heroin is? I saw heroin in Botswana.
What? This is when you during your come up.
No, can I imagine that one go guys?
Hey.
Bye Bola, you'll see your homie and you know.
The cocaine that ends up not being the good one, they turn it into crack cocaine, mix it with other things to make it cheaper, and then they sell it as a small matlapanyana. They also do other things to enhance the high. But usually good cocaine will not put you in a space of drowsiness, and it doesn't slow you up, and it hits you up, sometimes even cleans your eyes, make you sharp, and it gives you like a very, very nice attentive high that puts you on the spot and makes you enjoy your environment at the time. And what's happening is that you see things clearer, sounds are more sharper, you know what I mean? But then you would do other type that would now make you drowsy, make you feel tired, and then you would know that this is not the good stuff.
You know, I would always have this voice inside of me, you know,
Yeah.
that would tell me that my family hated me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were bewitching me. And one day I was so drunk and I had popped more than enough pills. And this voice came again. It said, no, just kill them. And I remember our house in Old Naledi was screen-walled, a high screen wall. There were some tenants living in some of the back houses.
Yeah.
You know, when I attacked my family, everyone ran out of the yard. Everyone.
How did you attack them?
I had a knife.
Oh,
I
you had
just
a knife.
wanted to kill them, yeah.
Uh-huh.
The police came, they nearly shot me because of the violence that but I didn't know what kind of strength I had in me and where it came from.
What am I call it? I told God that I want to have the innocence of a child. You know, when children are laughing at something, they would just be laughing and cracking because they are enjoying the moment and they're all over the place, bubbly and responding to life as it comes to them. And I said, God, I really want that.
Time when we had to go and perform in a place outside Gaborone. I found that my tablets were not enough because most of the days I would usually take 4. And that time I had 1. So I decided to break this one into a metal spoon. Then I added Vim. Vim is a cleaning detergent. The one that you use to clean your stoves with. It's a dry powder kind of detergent, and it has some salt-like crystals in it. So I was trying to make something that would make me feel more high and stuff like that. I was creating another type of drug that I don't know what its name is. So actually that's what nearly killed me.
Okay.
Because by the time I sniffed that thing, it affected my inner nostril.
Okay.
I ended up bleeding profusely and I was taken to Princess Marina Hospital for some days and I was losing a lot of blood. That's when a moment of reckoning came. I felt like, no, do you know what? If I make it out alive, I just have to get out of this. But it's not an easy thing. Without support, it's not an easy thing. Without counseling, it's not an easy thing. And being very far away from God, it will never be easy.
Overstimulates people in the way that they are. When you watch porn, you produce a hormone called dopamine, which is a feel-good emotion. So people who suffer from addictions of any kind, not just porn, what they're really addicted to is the feel-good rush that comes from the dopamine released in their mind after or when doing that activity. So a reliance or an overstimulation of dopamine is going to be bad for us because anything done in extremes is bad for us. One, but also it's very important to note that there's a link between will and moderating our dopamine levels. If we overstimulate ourselves and over release dopamine, it kind of gets us to just, be lazy and chill back and hang back, and it affects the level of initiative that we can have. Why? Because most of our drive comes from wanting good things, wanting to feel good, wanting to achieve certain feelings. But if you already have had a dopamine rush in your mind, you already feel like, I've achieved.